Welcome to Magic Hour. I am your host, Paul Chappell, and today we are reviewing the Mitchells vs. the Machines. I just got back from my mini vacation and I saw this movie. Actually saw it the day after it came out, and I was like, maybe I should have waited around and reviewed this movie, but it was too late. Whatever, I watched it, kind of enjoyed it, had a few problems with it, but overall, really liked it. These guys that produced the movie, Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, they do phenomenal work. They did Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. You know, they've done a lot of it. They did a Lego movie. So, you know, these guys are very good at what they do, and I was happy to see this movie, although they didn't direct or write or anything like that, but they did produce it. It had their sensibility stamped all over it, I felt. The movie was a great satire. It mocked our obsession with smartphones and the internet and social media and memes. All that stuff was mocked in the movie. It was a great satire. The villain in the story is this personal assistant called Pal, voiced by Olivia Colman. She takes over the robots themselves. And this family, they are about to go on a road trip. The family's made up of just some normal people. They call them Mitchells. Their daughter, Katie Mitchell, she is going away to film school, and her dad is not really connecting with her. He hasn't been connected with her for a very long time, and he cancels her plane tickets to her new college at the last minute and tells her that everybody's going on a road trip. He's going to take his wife and his young son, and they're all going to go on this vacation and bond during the trip. And while they're on this trip, of course, the robot apocalypse happens. So that's the basic plot of the movie. This movie hit me on two levels. First of all, the main character in the movie, this Katie Mitchell, she went to film school. I also went to film school. I also had a dad that didn't support me. My dad wanted me to be an insurance agent. Oh my God, I probably would be dead right now if I had become an insurance agent. I would have shot myself in the head. I would have been so bored. But yeah, so we had that in common. But it also hit me on another level because I know what it's like to deal with a teenage daughter. So I kind of empathize with both of the main characters in this movie, Katie Mitchell and the father, Rick Mitchell. I identify with them both, because there is nothing more annoying than a teenage girl. You know, good luck if you want to connect with them, because I know my teenage daughter, she always had her nose stuck in her phone. Even now, even though she just turned 18, she's an adult now, but even now she has a problem with social media and everything that's offered on the internet. So the movie, I really could understand both viewpoints. So it hit me on all those levels. The most important thing about this movie that was good, though, is the fact that it was very, very funny. Like I said, it was produced by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, so I'm sure they had some input on some of the jokes. But like I said, it worked at high end. It worked as satire, but it also had some memeable moments throughout the film that I just thought they worked on every level. Now, the animation in the film was the same animation they used in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, because this movie was produced by Sony Pictures Animation. Netflix picked up the distribution of the film, but yes, it was made by Sony Pictures Animation. So if you see some similarity between those two movies, that's why. It's really a unique animation, because it kind of looks like it's hand-drawn at certain points, but it's not really hand-drawn. It has this vibrancy to it that I really can't even explain. You just have to see it. It's really unique, and I really would like to see this done in more movies. So it had that going for it. So let's talk about some of the things I didn't like. One of the things I was kind of scratching my head about, the father in the movie is in his 40s. He's totally illiterate when it comes to computers. Somebody in their 40s would have grown up with computers. So I kind of had a problem with that. Now, if he was a boomer, if he was maybe about 10 to 20 years older, I could understand that. But there's no man in his 40s should be computer illiterate. I haven't met any guys like that. So I just had a problem with that. But I know why they did it. They wanted to create this schism between the father and the daughter. Also, at a certain point in the movie, I realized that this movie could have made a great Incredible sequel. In fact, if you look at the trailer to this movie, they actually make a dig at the Incredibles. They actually say, you don't have to be incredible to save the world. So my first thought was this a rejected Incredibles screenplay or a sequel that somebody, pitched to Pixar? But then I found out Pixar doesn't really accept pitches from outside the company. They always develop their own story. So my theory didn't work in that regard. And I looked at some of the people that were connected to the movie, the writers. They have Michael Randa and Jeff Rowe. They both work for Disney, but there's no indication that I could find that they actually work for Pixar, which is a totally another division. But it just felt like some of the family dynamics was the same as the Incredibles. They had almost as many children as the Incredibles. They had a older daughter, younger son, and then they had a baby. So that's the only real difference between both of the movies. But the ages were almost identical with the Incredibles, and I felt like at a certain point in the movie that it would have been much more believable if the characters had powers, because they're fighting against this horde of robots. I mean, thousands and thousands of robots. It was kind of like the Ultron movie. So I felt like, this has a lot of similarities, or could have served as a very good, incredible sequel, and it would have worked just fine. Because like I said, the family dynamics is the same. The plot is something that could have worked very easily in an Incredibles movie. Just everything about it. So, but I didn't find any concrete connection between the people that wrote the movie and anybody in Pixar. So the last thing I will say is the only other kind of nitpick I have of the movie is the fact that I didn't think the voice acting really was that great. In fact, whoever did the kid brother's voice, I guess it was one of the writers, Michael Randa. He didn't do a good job at all, because it basically sounded like an adult male trying to sound like a child, and it just didn't work. The only outstanding voice acting that we got in this movie was by Olivia Colman. She played, the villain, did the voice for the villain, the pal, and I just thought she was excellent in every way. But overall, they had some big names in this production. They had Danny McBride, Maya Rudolph, Eric Andre, Fred Armisen, Christy Teigen, John Legend. I mean, it goes up. Conan O'Brien. They just had so many celebrities in this movie, and I just felt like it could have been a lot better. But yeah, let's go ahead and give this movie a rating on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being the highest, I would give it a 4.5. It had a lot of good lessons in the movie. It was funny. It was imaginative. It was a great satire, all those things. But if the voice acting had just been a little bit better, I would have given it a solid 5. But yes, 4.5 is about what I would give it at this point. So that's it. Catch it on Netflix. That is The Mitchells vs. the Machines. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. And if you like my channel, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the like button. Give me a comment down below. That'll get this review right. Is there anything I should have mentioned? Let me know in the comments. And I will see you when I see you. Thanks for watching.